Hey guys, and welcome back to the Chaotic Kids channel, where I'm Michelle and making fantasies come true, one story at a time. And today we are going to be having a conversation. Well, it's not really a conversation. This is going to be a video, a vlog about my religious weekend that I'm currently on. Obviously, I'm still in my same house, but I'm just taking this weekend to really strengthen my relationship with God, which I feel like every religious video that I've ever posted always has the title of strengthening my relationship with God. But honestly, that's so true about what I'm going through right now. But yeah, so we're doing this. So today was, I think, the third or fourth weekend, where I've gone to a little, community meeting place, where we talk about, we just, are getting ready to do ministry work around our community, like help praying for people. And you know, I started going to it because my friend who kind of runs it, yeah, I've been getting into it. Right now we're doing the kind of learning about the, how Unbound works. So Unbound is basically a practical guide, to deliverance. So getting closer to God and stuff. The 5 keys of the ministry are repentance and faith, forgiveness, renunciation, authority, and Father's blessing. And so we learned how to do that as a group, but also how to do it as your own, not as your own person, but with another person, like how to pray for that person that you're praying for, or who you're talking to. But for me personally, I'm going to be implementing this mindset into my own personal journey. So I've been going to therapy since 2018. I was not even 18 at the time. I was 17, and I was going through some mental health journey. A lot of it had to do with depression, and then I also just started, at that time I was getting close to graduating. Then I found this little local Catholic store that did gift shops and stuff. I started going in there every day, and slowly been working up to this process where I am now with wanting to become a sister. And you know, because I have been discovering more about myself, I've also discovered that I am somebody with multiple personalities. I'm not sure exactly what my diagnosis is. I just call myself multiple personalities. I've never been diagnosed, mostly because I live in the middle of nowhere, and I feel like Kansas also doesn't have the greatest mental health awareness. I could be wrong, but that's just my opinion. Also, if I were to go get an official diagnosis, it would be 2.5 hours, maybe even 3 hours. Maybe I have to go out of the state. I don't know. It would be a trip for me. I don't really drive that long a distance, and I don't feel comfortable with my dad or my brother driving me there. And then I have to pour out my soul, and expect things to be okay, Yeah, so it's kind of not in the wheelhouse. Also, I would not be able to financially support getting a diagnosis because it would be out of pocket, and I do have insurance, but it doesn't cover it, so it's not going to happen. But so I'm going to be working with each one of my altars to eventually work through these 5 keys and hopefully heal. I'm thinking about doing it today. I'm not entirely sure. It's just going to depend on a few things. There's also a few other things that I need to do today before church. Not necessarily oh, I have to do this. It's more I would like to get this done early, so then in the evening I can work on the reading part. But yeah. Anyway, so did the Unbound meeting today. Really good. Talked a lot about how to help others, and hopefully one day help me. And I'll say, after watching the video we were watching, I related the ministry, the Unbound idea, mindset, guide, to actually religion. I mean, not religion, of course it's religious, but to therapy a lot, because I've been in therapy so long, it makes sense. I feel with a good therapist, the steps were kind of like an interview, so getting to know the person, or in this case, like with therapy, you know, the therapist gets to know you. You open up, you try to work through these problems, and they don't necessarily, I don't think typical therapists do this. I've never had a therapist do this, but like they don't like pray over you, but you know, like they give you steps to kind of help guide you in some ways. Be like, hey, this is what's going on, you know, maybe try to do this or do this, you know. But I related it a lot with therapy, and I was like, I remember I don't remember where I learned this, but like with a person, there's like 3 different aspects to being a human. There's the physical, there's the mental or emotional, and then there's also the spiritual side of us. And everyone, that's like the core concepts of what make a person a person. Physical, and like it's important to note that like your being is a temple. You need to make sure you respect every aspect of your life to do the best possible healing. And you know, like with the physical, it's a lot of exercise, you know, emotional, obviously with therapy, and then the spiritual, just doing whatever you believe in religiously. For me, I believe in God. I believe in Catholic faith. So that is where my core values lie. But it's just so important. Like, I will say, like, I would say from the last, like, ever since I started, like, really heavily thinking about becoming a sister, so back in, like, February, March time, I've definitely been doing a lot of growing. I've been doing a lot of growing with my emotional side, like my mental health wise. I've also been doing really good with my physical self. Maybe not exercise wise, but I've been eating healthier, and I've also been losing weight, which it has been a kind of a goal for me. Whenever I was like almost reached 300 pounds, I was like, I need help. But yeah, I've been doing that, and I've been doing really, really good. I'm just like, I've definitely like, I'm pretty sure the word of this year for me was blossom, I think. Let me actually go look at the front of this journal, but I'm pretty sure the word was blossom. Yeah, the word was blossom, and I would truly, truly believe I've blossomed this year. And also to note, at the end of the meeting today, we did a little activity where like it was it was 2 people talking. Well, it was a one-on-one conversation with someone, and we were supposed to ask the Holy Spirit to kind of give us a plant that represents the person we were talking to. And the person I was talking to talked about, I don't remember what the plant was called, but it's a vine that has flowers on it. And she was telling me about how like this vine had one flower currently on it, which was a white flower, like pure white flower in the center, with vines around it. And she was like, for her, white represents purity, holiness, and stuff like that. And I was like, that makes so much sense for me, because I'm wanting to be holy. I'm wanting to reach sainthood. I'm wanting to become a sister, you know. And then she is also, like, I also connected it to, you know, how that white flower represents me. But, the vines also are part of that flower, of that plant, you know, like, the vines are going to reach out and grow. And as the vines grow and reach out, there's going to be more flowers growing on it. And I was like, I relate that so much with my books. And I was like, I want to keep cultivating my writing style and my writing practice, while also tying in that Catholic elements to it, you know? So it was really, I loved getting to have that connection. And, you know, it was important to know, like, sometimes with that flower, you know, like, it doesn't last well during the cold winter weather, but like, if you were to prune it and keep it taken care of during the winter, like, it keeps coming back and it keeps growing. So it's nice to be like, oh, I just need to be pruned, and obviously God's gonna prune me, you know? So yeah, it was awesome to think about. Yeah, so today was just awesome. Like, so far, today's been a really good day. Yeah. Sorry, I feel like I'm everywhere. But so I'm actually probably, let's get on to what my game plan is for today. So today I am going to first start off with a little bit of journaling, I believe. I'm just going to kind of do a little quick recap for my therapist, how today's gone. Well, actually how the week's gone. So then I can send it to her and we can have a meeting about it on Tuesday. Because I have therapy on Tuesday. And then kind of go into more like my daily practice of religion. So this involves doing, where's the book? Total Consecration to the Immaculate. I'm on day 27. Yes, day 27 of it. Then I'll also do a rosary time and also do my Bible in a year. I think I'm on day 119, I think. I haven't done it for a couple of days, but I'm wanting to get back into it. So, yeah. Those will be the primary things I'm going to do right now. After I probably eat supper, because it's currently like 1:15, if not 1:30. Yeah, it's close to 1:30. After about 3 to 4 o'clock, after 4, I will then get into reading. Planning on reading these 2 books. This one is Why I Love Being Catholic. It's basically just has 3 questions in the book, which are basically, hold on, let me get to the chapter. So it's like, question number 1 is, why do you love being Catholic? Question number 2 is, what is your favorite memory as a Catholic? Question number 3 is, as a Catholic, what are your hopes for the future? And and basically each chapter has, I believe, 100 people's answers to that question. I've already read the first half, I believe, of Why I Love Being Catholic. I've also done a journaling session on that, which was really nice. Then I also got this book today from my friend. It is the Unbound book, A Practical Guide to Deliverance, which hopefully this book will help me like take what I'm learning from the meetings and implement it more into my daily life and help healing. So that's kind of the game plan for today. I'm going to start with some journaling. I am trying to upload a video right now, which will go up on Thursday. But for right now, we're just gonna work through the basics. Okay, so I'll see you. Hey guys, it's currently like 3:10 right now. I'm currently watching a video, but it's almost over. But I just wanted to come on and update you guys on what I've been doing. So it's been about an hour and a half, if not 2 hours since I last talked to you guys. I did a little journaling session, kind of talked, I say talk with, but I talked about what's been going on in my life and also talked about something that I wanted to note for therapy, coming up. I sent my journaling notes to my therapist. We'll email her again on Monday to kind of update her with what kind of things I would like to talk about. I also watched day 27 of the Total Consecration to the Immaculate. And today, the video was talking about the charismatic gifts that people receive. Everyone has a charismatic gift. It's just how involved, like, not necessarily involved, well, kind of involved, how religious and how into your faith you are with that charismatic gift. And you know, the ways to tell about charismatic gifts are like, whenever you talk about it, you light up. I can't remember all 3 of them, but when you talk about it, they light you up. And whenever people listen to you talk about it, they also feel like moved by it. And also there's obviously the prayers of asking what your charismatic gifts are and stuff, which was really cool. I'm kind of wondering like what my charismatic gift is. Sometimes I'm like, oh, it's writing, but then I'm also like, with writing, I'm honestly like kind of preaching like what I'm wanting people to know in a way. So I don't know. It'll be interesting, but I think mine overall is just communications. But yeah, that's kind of that was about. I'm now about ready to get into day 119 of the Bible in a Year. This one is titled David's Wisdom, which I'm pretty sure, I can't remember if we're going to be finishing First Samuel, which I think we might be, because there's only there's 3 chapters. No, 2 chapters. 2 chapters. So I think we'll finish it today. I don't know. But yeah, so I'm going to do that. Then I'll probably go head down to eat or pray a rosary, then go down to eat. But after I get done eating, I'm pretty much having to get ready for church. But yeah, so far the day's been going good. I will talk to you guys in a little bit, okay? Bye. Okay, guys, so I just got done with my Bible in a year with day 119. We just got to the point where Saul died. Saul? No, it is Saul. Saul dies, so King Saul dies, and basically showing how David is pretty much preparing himself to be the uniter of the kingdom of Israel. Yeah, which is really interesting. Tomorrow we will start 2 Samuel, Chronicles, and I think continuing on with Psalms, which was really cool. The Psalm for today was 18. And Father Mike made a good point with one of this verse in Psalm 18 verse 19. He basically said one of the transitions is what is it? Hold on. He saved me because he loves me. Yeah, he saved me because he loves me. And I think that's something that I need to truly, truly listen to and truly hear. I know he loves me, but at the same point, I don't know he loves me, if that makes sense. Yeah, so it's something I'm going to think about, as I move on through the day. I say the day, it's now going into evening and afternoon. But I am now going to take a pause on it, go eat supper, come back, pray a rosary, then go take a shower, or I might take a shower first and then pray a rosary. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, so I'll see you guys later, okay? Bye. Okay, guys, so I just got done praying my rosary and I also took a shower. So as I was praying, so around my area right now, it feels like there's been a lot of suicides lately. Sorry, we're going to talk about suicide for a little bit. Not anything personal, but like, honestly, like there's been a lot of like young preteens, committing suicide lately around me. So I prayed my rosary for, their souls and stuff. My parish is actually going to be having a, rosary night, for a candlelit rosary for them tomorrow. But while I was praying, the verse that Father Mike pointed out today in in Psalm 18 verse 19, he saved because he loves. And when I was praying, I was like, that verse popped up into my head and I was like, that's so true. Like, God loves. He does not hate, he loves, and he will save our souls because he loves us. And at the end of the day, I think I can't speak for everybody, but I know for me personally, when I was dealing with suicide, like I was lonely. I never felt loved. I didn't feel like I was loved. Which I know was a lie, but I didn't believe that people loved me. I didn't think I was worthy of their love. So I don't know how to say this, but like, I just hope and pray that the people out there who are still thinking about it, who have friends who've done it, like, then those people who know that they are loved and God can save them. He loves you and he cherishes you and he wants you to be near. And that goes for Mary and Jesus and all the angels and saints, especially your guardian angel. Like, all these people love you. And, like, I know so many times, like, even in my own personal life, like, I sometimes turn away from what I feel like, I turn away from what God's telling me to do. And I turn away, always because of the false beliefs that I've believed for so long. Which leads me into the Unbound, like, meeting and stuff. Like, everything works out in the end. And, like, people are in desperate times now. Like, they can be feeling really, really lost. But yet, good will come. Good will come. I know it's a slow process, but good will come. You just have to find those people. Reach out for help. If you're, like, For me, it was a store. The store where I met the lovely ladies that I knew. It was called a Soul Provider. It was a local Catholic store that gave gift items. It was all Catholic. They did memorials. They had a gift shop. And that place was such a huge part of my beginning journey. My journey into adulthood. Like, if it wasn't for those ladies, if it wasn't for my family, like, who rallied behind me whenever they learned about my attempts and stuff, like, if it wasn't for them, I don't know if I would still be here. Because honestly, my friends, we were more like friends because we had to be friends, not friends because we thought the same thing, you know. But like, it brings me up to the whole idea that I journaled about and that I sent to my therapist. Like, I feel as if there needs to be someone maybe per class, but someone out there who will just talk to these kids, and they don't have to be paid. Like, I'm speaking for myself personally. Like, I don't want to be paid to help these children. Like, they are desperately looking for someone to talk to. And, you know, it might not be like the same, like, not everyone's gonna need this person, but, you know, if they can reach out to that one person who desperately needs them, then why shouldn't they help that person? And, you know, I feel like I'm speaking of it as if it was me, but like, this person, like, I would want them to, like, I don't know, like, I don't know, like, it sounds like almost envision it kind of like a para, but like a para for a specific class, for a specific 10, 20 people, just there to comfort them when they need comforting, to be in their corner even when it seems no one else is. And I know that's hard to ask, but, you know, like, I pray that there's a group of people, and maybe this is from the ministry all together, but like, I pray there's somebody who will reach out and just help those kids. Like, I don't know, like, I'm even like trying to kind of think, like, it's not even possible, but like set up like a little community hub where like anyone and everyone can come in, you know, have toys set up, have TVs set up, have computers, do things like that, have books, just have a place for people to freely walk in, freely feel welcome. Like, I don't know, like, I feel like that would be beneficial for everybody. I don't know. It's just thoughts that I was thinking about, but something needs to change. I feel like the youth, their answer to everything is death, unfortunately. And I don't know. I don't know. It's just, I relate to them, but at the same point, I relate to them fully. It's just, they have to find that spark that they enjoy, you know, like, if this store ever happened or this building ever happened, you know, like, also have art supplies there. Allow the kids to create, be themselves, you know? So, I don't know. I'm feeling moved by it, and I just wanted to speak about it. Anyways, I'm gonna head downstairs, just get ready for the day. Get ready for the evening. Head to church. I might I might read a little bit today. Either out of, hold on, let me get the books out. Maybe if I can get the books. Maybe read in the Unbound, a practical guide to deliverance by Neil Lozano. Or I'll read Why I Love Being Catholic. This is by Matthew Kelly, so I will pick up reading those. If you want to, I will link these two books down in the description. Of course, Amazon. But if you guys buy them or buy anything off that link, I don't get a commission from it. So that's all I wanted to say. Yeah, but I'll probably see you guys tomorrow, okay? Bye. Hey guys, today is the 21st of June. It is a Sunday. So yesterday I told you guys I was going to go to Mass. I didn't go to Mass yesterday. I did actively go into the church. I did my usual, well, not usual because there was my mental health wasn't the best yesterday. It wasn't the best. I mean, like, basically my mind was on overdrive and I was thinking and doing a lot of like scanning the surroundings. And I also was seeing things that weren't there. Like out of the corner of my eyes, I would see like black shadow figures. It was like outside of my glasses range, so I never got like a clear like image of it, but I was like, okay, something is telling me like it was a lot. And maybe I should have been like, well, that's a sign to more actively stay in church, but I was overstimulated and it was just not a good time. But yesterday before church, I did a little bit of reading. So the first book I was reading was Why I Love Being Catholic. This book basically is broken down into 3 different sections. They're each a different question that's being answered by a bunch of different people. The back says they asked 100,000 people different questions as to why they love being Catholic. Yesterday, I finished reading the first question, which was, why do you love being Catholic? Which I had previously done a little journaling session about and why I loved being Catholic. I can't honestly remember what I wrote, but then I remembered. Basically, I love being Catholic because it feels like I'm at home. Like, maybe it's because I was born and raised being Catholic, but also it's important to note, like, God is our Father. That is what I've been taught for my entire life, and that's what I truly believe. God is our Father. And, Mary's our mother, and Mary's been someone who's very influential in my life. And, like, all the angels and saints, all the people in the world, like, they're brothers and sisters of me in the Catholic sense. And, it feels like being at home. And, like, even whenever you enter the church, like, sometimes I enter the church whenever it's just me in the dark, but like even in being in the dark with the Blessed Sacrament, not even being out, like you just feel at home. Like, I don't know, like, and especially considering like with the lights being off, I remember like, because my dad has always been like very tight on bills. Like he's like, if you're not in the room, you don't have the light on. And sometimes even when you are in the room, you turn off the lights because the sun is giving you enough light. Like, that is the rule. And like, I remember so many times he would shut off the lights where I'm already in the room, and I'm like, it just makes sense. Like, it's such an ingrained part of my mind. I'm like, it just, like, entering the church feels like I'm at home. And I've been to several different churches, and typically every church, I feel like I'm at home. It doesn't matter where I'm at. As soon as I enter, I'm just like relieved. It feels like home. So that's kind of why I love being Catholic, is because it just feels like I'm at home. Yesterday I also kind of did the intro pages to Unbound. This is kind of the meetings, like the groups that I've been going to lately on Saturdays. Basically, this is the book that inspired the 5 keys to deliverance. And basically what I'm doing with this book is just reading it to get like kind of like a base understanding, which I feel like I'm already getting with the videos, but I'm also like with the videos that I'm watching with the Unbound local meeting group, and the book. Hopefully I'll be able to infuse it all together to do more healing. So it's all really, really nice. And then this morning, I did a little bit of journaling before I came on. And what I did was I answered the second question in this book, which is, what is your favorite memory as a Catholic? And I was journaling and I was like, thinking like, what is my favorite memory as a Catholic? And like, I've been born and raised Catholic, but I think my favorite memory has to deal, like, is a story in a way. Like, it's a lot of different smaller memories that kind of compounded on to something greater. And I was basically like, it all started with not my first time, but after not going to church for like 3 years, I went to my first Mass with my dad. I think it was right after my mom passed away. I had moved out of my brother's basement into the upstairs. And it was at that point that I was like, I went to church because I felt a calling to. And whenever I was in there, like, I kept hearing this, I call it a voice, but at the same point I can't remember exactly, but like, I felt this calling about, like, I don't know, the word saint and saint books came together. And as I remember sitting in church, like, I wasn't even listening to the homily or listening to scriptures. I was just continuing to hear the word saint and picture in books. And I was like, I just kind of, like, my mind was on a race of, like, what's going to happen? Like, what is this, like, idea, you know? And at that point, I wasn't really, like, too much into my faith. Like, I don't know, like, I wasn't into my faith, but yet I went to church because I felt like I needed to. Um, and then I remember, like, kind of having that idea, but the problem is, as soon as I go to sleep and the next morning I forget about things. I'm getting better about that, but it's still like that, like, oh, I'm going to sleep, wake up the next morning, don't remember stuff. But I remember, like, as time progressed kind of thing, the concept, like, of the idea of of this books about saints, I came up with the idea of, like, a magic treehouse meets Catholic saints, you know, like, a a couple kids going to meet these different saints in their time period, you know. Or I could almost have, like, I don't know, I have so many ideas about it. I haven't fully dived deep into it because I was like, when I first started writing, like, whenever I first had this idea, it's like, oh, I'll just kind of think about it, brainstorm it. And then that's how JJ's story came about. And as JJ's story kept evolving and, like, the whole series of JJ came out, that is whenever Grace came to be. I say came to be, but whenever she felt more comfortable with introducing herself to me. Like, Grace has always been there, but she just introduced herself to me in the form of these books, middle grade books about saints. And then, you know, I kind of fell away from the picture books about saints. I mean, the more chapter books about saints. And then I evolved into kind of like this young adult novel. Then, as I feel like I've talked to you about, like, Marianne. Marianne is a new addition to my system, but she's also kind of always been there. Like, the core essence of Marianne is a part of Grace, but just in her own form with one of the little Marises, which I might do a whole conversation about how Marianne came to be. And maybe how all my pen names came to be. Because, like, yes, they've been with me the whole time. It's just, they are their own individual, like, they weren't part of the original cast. I don't know if that makes sense. I don't even fully understand, like, dissociative identity disorder, OSDD, or anything like that. I just know that, like, they are kind of newer additions that also has been here for a while. Like, they all originally came from this part known as MK kits. But so Grace came off of MK kits whenever we became more religious. And as we keep diving deeper into our religion, Grace has been diverting into Marianne. I don't know. There might be another, like, Marianne might split off. I don't know. We haven't done a lot of research into Marianne, but there's just so much stuff. Like, it keeps expanding. But towards the end of my journaling session, I was talking about how, like, yes, like, people, whenever they look at me, they, like, or when I talk to them about my multiple personalities, they can be like, oh, she's kind of faking it, or, like, a lot of my family members are like, oh, so when are you going to be healed? You know, like, oh, can medication fix this and stuff? And I'm like, no, medication cannot fix this. This is something more psychologically that I have to work through. And I remember when I first started talking to my sister about this, she was like, oh, so is your end goal to be fully healed? You know, like, no more parts, like, no more voices. And I was like, I was actually taken aback by it because I was like, as much as I understand where she's coming from, it still hurt because I'm like, well, she thought that I was faking it, kind of thing. But I was like, these voices that I hear are actually parts of me, you know, like, they make up the core values that are Michelle. Like, yes, they are their own individuals, but they are part of me and they make up who I am. Like, we are all, like, as a whole, we make up the Michelle. But, like, the reason I'm fractured is because of different, I would say different lies that I said, different traumas that I've developed over the years. Just different things that happened to me split these guys off. And yes, they continue to split off, but I feel like it's more healing. Especially say with like Marianne, because Marianne, like, she started out, like, the whole of the evolution of Marianne. So started out with MK Kids, then went to Grace, then went to Marianne. Like, they are different, but like it shows my creativity almost in more of a way. Yeah, but anyway, so like this memory started with the idea of going to church and hearing this idea about saints. And it just keeps evolving, and I was like, for me personally, like, I feel like there's never been one core memory that's been my favorite. It's just kind of the spark that not the spark that broke the camel's back, but it's the spark that started the wildfire. Like, it just grows and grows and grows into something so beautiful. And I think I'm truly, like, I'm getting better. Like, I'm not perfect yet, or perfect, but like I'm healing, and that's what this essence of me is supposed to be. I'm supposed to be healing. And yeah, it's so cool to see how God works through my life. And honestly, that's why I love reading these these religious books. I really enjoy reading, like, whenever I read A Light in the Shadows about this daughter who wrote about her dad's life and how he was so influential in her life. Like, just listening to others talk about someone's religion and how deeply ingrained it is in them makes me so happy. And it's all such a beautiful thing. Yeah, but I love being open. I love my eyes being open to this memory and stuff. But yeah, so I'm 12 minutes into this clip. I'm going to stop talking now. But I'm going to spend like 30 minutes, 45 minutes. I don't know. It just depends on whenever I'm like, okay, I'm bored of reading this. But I'm going to start reading the second question in this book, which is what's your favorite memory of being a Catholic? This again is just people answering the question, kind of maybe diving deep into it, depends on who they are or what kind of person they are. I don't know if I knew details about them, but just listening to them talk about it. Yeah. But so yesterday, whenever I was doing finishing off the first reading, it talked a lot more about family, and I was like, okay, I'm not the only one who's like, why they love being Catholic is because it feels like being at home. But yeah, so that's kind of what's going on. I've got a video pulled up by author J.C. Carpenter. I've been a subscriber of hers for a while, but I've been going back and rewatching her old vlogs since she has such long vlogs. I just listen to it as I read. I don't really pay attention to it. It just is a nice soft background noise because my house makes so many creaking noises. I'm like, okay, I don't want to listen to the creaking noise. I want to listen to something that's a little more like, I don't know, like someone else is in the house with me kind of thing. So yeah. Anyways, going to get into reading. I will see you guys later, okay? Bye. Hey guys, so it's about noon right now. I did about an hour's worth of reading on why I love being Catholic. I'm on the second question, and this question is a very long section. I originally was like, oh, I'm gonna finish reading it today. I didn't realize how long it is. Like, it is no joke, over probably half the book. This third question is only like a couple pages long. But I reached page 75. I started on page 31, so I've got over 40 pages worth of reading in. Again, that was within an hour. I really enjoyed listening to it, or I say listening to it, I mean reading it, but I hear the word, I hear the voice and the words, so I don't know. But I love getting to hear other people's experiences with why they love being Catholic, And it's just so nice. And like, granted, I don't get much information on each of these people who are writing the story, like their stories and memories. But like, I don't know, I can almost imagine how their life progressed, and it's so, so wonderful. I loved it. Yeah, just getting to listen to people's story is so amazing. Again, calling me to just write these, not just write these novels that I'm working on, but also like go write nonfictions for other people in my life or other people that I may or may not know. Just write these stories. Honestly, like as I keep reading, I have all these like great aspirations that I would love to do, even though I know at the end of the day I'm only one person. But like I don't know, like it would just be so cool to do all these aspirations, like do what I was talking about yesterday with just being someone there, like having like a little shop almost for people to come in and just talk to people. I would love to write nonfiction books about other people's lives. Obviously, continue to write my own novels and inspire people that way. I just have so many aspirations, and I need to pray to God, be like, okay, I see all these great things. Which one are you calling me to do? Obviously, I feel like it's all centered around being a sister, which, I believe. And I'm pretty sure it was a calling from God, but you never know. I don't know. There's just so many things I want to do. Yeah, and this story is just so magical. I say story, but like listening to people's stories are so cool. And again, want to learn more about people. Yeah, so it was a really nice read. I think I'm done reading this book for today though, just because it is noon and I would like to get started reading the Unbound book today. So what I think I'm going to do, besides go eat, which I think I'm going to only have a pretty small meal because I'm wanting to do some fasting. Strictly because not strictly, but I've been hearing a lot like fasting is such a great way to strengthen your relationship with God. But I'm a little scared to do it just because like I am doing fairly good mental health wise, and I'm like, what if I miss a meal and then things go south? So I don't know. I'm just a little hesitant. But if I like have smaller portions, I feel like it'll also, I don't know. I'm thinking about fasting, but I think after I eat, I'm going to go pray a rosary at my local church. Then come back. Actually, I need to see my dad too. So maybe I'll see my dad, go to the local church, pray a rosary, and then get back to reading probably. Probably after 4, I'll do more like, I don't want to say more focused religion, but like, I'll do my Bible in a year. I'll do day 28, I believe. Yeah, day 28 of the total consecration and do stuff like that. And also today at 8 o'clock, my church is having like this candlelit rosary for people who have been committing suicide lately. And for those that are just struggling. So I would like to attend that as well. But yeah, that's kind of all the things that's going to be happening. I will talk to you guys later, okay? Bye. Hey guys, so it's almost supper time right now for me. I eat at like 4 o'clock. But so I didn't come back on after I got done eating lunch or anything. But I went to my dad's. I spent about an hour with him. I also spent a little bit of time just watching YouTube. But I spent most of the time with my dad. Then I came back home and I don't remember what I all did because somehow it became 3 o'clock and I was like, how did that happen? But anyway, so then I started reading the Unbound book. I read chapter 1, which was called Freedom to Hope. I did kind of a journaling session on it. Not really. I just kind of like took key points from the chapter, like the sub-chapter headers for like the sections and stuff. But something that caught my attention was the main question of one of the sub-chapters, which was slave mentality. Like, do you still have the slave mentality mindset? Which really caught my attention. I was like, that's an interesting way of putting, like, are you still, like, I guess, a slave to your sins that you commit and stuff. And, like, are you kind of like, I guess, to me, it almost also makes it sound like, are you so set in your ways that you won't even be willing to accept help from other people, if that makes sense? Which I think I need to dive deeper into, like, having an actual, like, drawn out thought process with it. Maybe that'll be something that I talk with my therapist about on Tuesday. But it was definitely something that I'm like, interesting. This whole concept is very interesting, and I would like to dive deeper into it. And basically, I think I told you guys, like, I'm basically wanting to do, like, what I'm wanting to do with this book is kind of take the whole concept of the 5 keys of the Unbound ministry, then implement it into each of my altars' lives. Well, not each of my altars' lives, but get to know my altars, allow them to express what they want to express, and slowly heal and slowly reach out to other people for help doing it. And, just getting the baseline information that I need to have on it first will help me a lot. But, just the whole slave mentality is something that I definitely took away from it. And also something that I also took away from it was basically, like, I don't want to say being so desperate that you ask God for help, but, like, almost like it's okay to ask God for help when you are down in the ruts. You feel like you're kind of in an endless cycle of, like, almost wanting to change, but yet you again are in the slave mentality where you can't change. So it's okay to ask God for help. And the psalm that I read yesterday with the Bible in a year, the whole concept of Psalm 18 verse 19, in some translations it literally says, "He saved me because he loves me." And that psalm hits me hard, and I'm like, that, everything about that makes sense. Everything about this, like, doing the Unbound ministry, like, doing the Unbound deliverance work, then also reading the Bible, and just that psalm is, like, all interconnecting, and it's just like, this makes so much sense. And I'm just like, I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, of course this is making sense. God has been telling me to do this for years. I just have been too stubborn to acknowledge, kind of like being too stubborn and being in this slave mentality of just being like, I'm doing my own thing, kind of thing. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. If only I realized this sooner. But yeah, that's kind of what's going on. I'm going to go eat supper, then I'm going to do my Bible in a year, day 28 of the total consecration, and pray a rosary. I didn't pray a rosary this afternoon, just because I didn't feel like it, unfortunately. But I will pray this one today. The reason I didn't feel like up to it is because my head has been killing me. I'm going to take some Tylenol, but I'm like, my head just hurts. It hurts, and I kind of need it to stop hurting for a little bit. But yeah, so that's kind of what's going on. I will talk to you guys later, okay? Bye. Hey guys, today is June 22nd. It is a Monday. Yesterday evening did not go according to plan. I didn't do any of my usual evening routine. Somebody came out and was very adamant against not doing anything religious. And it was just best not to fight them. Which, when these days happen, when someone switches out and I'm kind of forced to not do my normal thing, it does make me question if I want to continue to pursue. Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. It makes me question if I want to continue to pursue being a sister, just because if I was a sister, I wouldn't be able to have these days, or I don't believe I would be. And obviously it would make me feel really, really bad if I were to have these days and not be able to pursue it. So I don't know. But I've talked about this, I think even if I don't become a sister by the end of these 5 years or before or anything like that, I still just want to gain my faith a little more. And, you know, as I gain my faith, and I hope that I'll be able to help influence other people, you know, maybe influence them on this channel, maybe influence them in my personal life, you know, whatever happens, I would like to change, like, pursue, like, just help others. I talk about this, like, when I was talking about, the lost soul, like the people who've been committing suicide, how I want to own almost like a store and just have a place for people to hang out, come chat, and not feel so stressed and worried. Obviously I would still need to make money off this place too. But yeah, that's something I like. If the sisters doesn't come happen, maybe I do that. We'll just see. But I still would want to publish the books with them, so yeah. Also, I'm sorry, I'm like fading in and out of consciousness here. I did do my total consecration yesterday, so I did it today. And I think after I did the readings and stuff, after I listened to the video, which we talked about St. Maximilian Kolbe for a little bit, I think today I am going to be trying to understand who Marianne is. Marianne is one of my altars. She wants to do picture books, and I think it's time for me to just have a sit-down chat with her. Well, sit-down chat with her as in, like, I just set up my computer with a blank journaling page and be like, okay, Marianne, talk. I'll have questions if I have questions, I'll ask them. But other than that, I just want you to talk. Tell me about yourself, and move and see if I can, like, we can work on a picture book today, or at least at the bare minimum get to know who she is and see how I can help her in any way that I can. It's been a while since she's like kind of been formed or came out. So it should be interesting. I might record a video about that. I'm not entirely sure. I might start recording a video and never actually publish it, or like I might delete the clips if they don't feel like they're going anywhere. But yeah, that's something I'm planning on doing today. In more religious news, well, I don't really have any more religious news. But so I'm just gonna close out today's video, I guess. But so if you guys are enjoying these religious videos, stick around for this channel. I plan on doing more religious videos again because I had this I had this goal to become a sister. And obviously if I become a sister, I need to do more religious stuff or have more religion-based things in my life. I plan on hopefully finishing this book within this week or next week. We'll see. I probably have like 2 to 3 more readings left to do to get this book finished. Which will be awesome. I'm also still reading the Unbound. I just started it this weekend, but I plan on working on this as well. I'm on chapter 1. I think there's like 15 chapters in it. But once I finish this and we finish the teachings that my friend is kind of hosting, then I hope to be working on healing all my parts and stuff. But yeah, that's kind of all that's been going on. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like, comment down below. And if you comment down below, tell me you finished the video. That'd be awesome. But other than that, I hope you guys all have a lovely day. And remember to keep making fantasies happen, one story at a time, okay? And I'll see you guys later. Bye.